it's personal. You cannot automate this. The client wants to know, can I go get a truck? Tell me, Christine, right? We get to see everybody. We know everything. We know their kids, who went to college, So it's never going to be AI. It's never going to be automated.
You're listening to the Spotlight edition of The Successful Bookkeeper with your host, Louis Prosperi. Listen each week as inspiring guests share their secrets of success to help you increase your confidence, work smarter, and build a business you love. This episode of The Successful Bookkeeper is brought to you by PureBookkeeping.com, the proven system to grow your bookkeeping business.
Welcome back to the Successful Bookkeeper podcast. I'm Louis Prosperi. Our guest is the founder of Succession Security, Christine Siegenthaler. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is awesome.
This is great because, Succession Security is an interesting one, and your product really goes into it. So let's talk a little bit about why bookkeepers should have a contingency plan, for unexpected things like people get sick.
Yep.
You get hurt, falling down the stairs, happened to me recently, by the way, or the worst one, you die. So what kind of contingency plan should they start thinking about?
Well, they should always have a contingency plan, but right now there's no service out there for bookkeepers and accountants, solo bookkeepers and accountants. Now, if you have 3 or 4 employees, they're going to be able to step in and run your business. But the solo bookkeepers and accountants, the moms that wanted to stay home with their kids and started it with one client and worked till midnight and got 2 clients, and now they're billing $100,000 a year, and this is their livelihood. They would lose everything in a blink of an eye. In the bookkeeping and accounting world, if someone gets sick or injured and that client can't get what they need, they generally just get back into the universe and another bookkeeper picks them up. So you lose everything. I mean, just like you said, I hate to say it, you get hit by a bus, you have a stroke, immediate family member passes away. You are not thinking about running your business, but yet you still need that income to survive.
So that's interesting because your plan is more designed for what I call the one-person show, or the one person with one staff, where the whole business revolves around them, right? So basically, they don't do the work, nothing gets done, right? Yep. So you're saying, how do those people do their succession planning? Correct. That's the
correct.
Key thing,
That's
right?
exactly the solopreneur. Okay. So generally, this scenario, this service could work for any solopreneur, really, a lawyer, an architect, anybody. But right now, what I know, what I'm great at is bookkeeping and accounting. And that's where I have my firm and staff could step in, and we know how to do it.
So for them to do a contingency plan, they have to have certain things in place for what you're talking about. For example, I'm thinking maybe documentation of processes and so forth. Can you provide us with some information that, as part of your contingency plan, how do you, because we know one man or one person shows, it's all in their head, right?
Exactly.
Let's be honest,
exactly.
Right? The customer knowledge, all of that stuff. And that's okay because you could just get to that Rolodex in your head and do it. But if you're going to do a contingency plan, you're going to need to build something. Is that correct?
Not so much, to be honest. Everything's in the cloud nowadays. So that's what makes this service even possible. All right. 15 years ago, all us bookkeepers and accountants, we used to have to drive to the client's, office and sit in their little chair and sit. So we become team members and users on all their cloud-based software. Right.
Okay.
So first of all, we can just step in seamlessly into QBO, QuickBooks Online, Xero, Zoho, anything like that. Even if you have a server and use desktop, we log into the server. Okay. Even your CRM, policies and procedures and that type of thing, we become a member or a user. Okay.
Right.
Now, what's different about us? We do this day in and day out. So if what's in your mind isn't in paper, we generally can figure it out. So we joke, we know
Okay.
how to get the code. And
Okay.
all bookkeepers and accountants will know what I'm talking about. The code to get into Shopify, the code to get in the bank, the code to get into Capital One, So
Right.
we know how to get it.
So let's talk a little bit more about the code, because even though you guys get the code, what are the basics that they're going to have ready for someone like you to move in? Like, what are the basics that, and let's put it this way, what's the ideal model that would really help them use a service like yours? Like you mentioned a little bit cloud-based, but what are the other things that would be very beneficial to have in place?
Well, what we've learned now onboarding our members so far, it takes
Right.
about 30 minutes, and we have very specific questions, right down to what is the password to your laptop?
Right.
Right. Okay. What is the password to your iPhone? Some ladies haven't wanted to give that up. So then I'm like, okay, well, then you need a different telephone system that the code goes to that telephone system, or the client texts that phone. A lot of us, even us, will get a text at 8 p.m. on our cell phone. So if you have that type of system in place, one phone, open phone, Ring Central, something like Google Voice, it does that all. Some ladies still just use their cell phone.
Right.
Okay. So let's just say you get in a car accident. We've got to have your husband or your spouse or your significant other get that cell phone and make sure you can open it.
I see. Okay. So what you're saying is, one is use the technology, like you mentioned Google.
A Google Voice,
Phone
I
or
think it's
whatever.
called.
Google Voice. So if you live on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Make sure you have a contingency plan that allows you to move that information so that you can utilize it. So that's one thing they have to do for sure.
Yeah.
How does technology play in this role? Like, how important is technology for a contingency plan? What kind of things should they think about?
It's crucial. I wouldn't be able to do this if we had to fly out to Utah or wherever, to
Yeah.
cover for you. I wouldn't be able to offer a membership at $49.95 a month. Right.
Right.
$600 a year to safeguard everything you work for. All right.
Right.
So it's everything. Everything has to be in the cloud. And even if people are using desktop,
Yes.
say that desktop is on their laptop or their tower computer,
Yes.
we can remote into that. The technology allows us remote PC, splash top. I mean, there's so many out there.
Right. Well, I guess the other part would be internet service. I'm assuming
Yeah.
when we're talking about this, so cloud-based and internet service would be critical for them to take advantage of a contingency plan where someone would be able to take over. And when you're talking about a contingency plan, you're talking about having a third party come in and help you with your practice while you're recovering. Is that correct?
1,000%. We're like insurance, but in reverse. We don't pay out in money. We pay out in labor.
Okay.
So we come in and seamlessly step in as you. We will treat your firm just as well as I treat my firm. And we will be you, and your clients will be so ecstatic that, that you thought of them actually.
So that's what you're talking about. It's basically having staff on hand or access to a pop-up office when you can't do the work, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about contingency plans, are we talking about being out of service for a week, a month?
Up to 3 months.
What? I'm sorry. Continue. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
Up to 3 months.
Up to 3 months. So now we do. In my mind, if you're more than 3 months,
right?
I just figure then you're already thinking of something different. If you're not going to be well enough to work.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't have the staff that I can just pull off for longer than 3 months.
Right.
Right. So that's what we do say. We do offer, like, say you need an extra day or a week. We do offer extra a 1-day charge
Oh, I
after
see.
the 3
Okay.
months. Yeah.
Right. So basically what you're saying is there's two types of contingency plans: long term, where you're probably wanting to retire or sell or whatever
Mhm.
that reason is. But you're talking about the short term contingency plans, which is the unpredictable ones, right? The ones that,
Unexpected.
right?
Yep. But
That's the one that you had no intention of
that's
stopping
exactly
work.
right. Yep.
Is that
Now,
right?
another beauty. Okay, so you brought up retirement. We do
Right.
offer for $499 a one-time fee to
Right.
offer your firm for sale to all our members.
Okay.
I mean, it's like you're fishing in a pond that everybody's hungry at, right?
Yeah. True.
And let's just say the worst happens. You're a member of Succession Security, you get hit by a bus and you die. Okay. We seamlessly step in, take your asset of your firm. See, people don't
Yeah.
look at their firm as an asset.
Right.
Generally, you can get 1 times your sale. That's just on average, let's just say. So if you bill
Yes.
100,000, your firm is worth 100,000. Someone is going to pay that. You now have an asset for your estate to pass on to your kids or your spouse or whoever, instead of it just everybody just going to find another bookkeeper. It's
True.
think
So
about it
yeah.
for that cost. And we offer it for sale to all our members first if you pass away. If no one takes it, I step in and find us a broker to sell
Okay.
your firm.
Okay. And I guess in the meantime, while that's happening, you're in there running the practice so it doesn't
Keeping it
fall
going.
apart.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So there's two services that you're providing, uh, and you call this membership. So basically, what you're saying is your contingency plan is a membership program,
Correct. Mhm.
right? It's not really a service. It's you become part of a member of your.
Correct.
Is that correct?
I had to figure out the best way to do this, and I
Right.
didn't want to touch anything insurance.
I get it.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So this was the way I figured, and I could keep it reasonable, very affordable. I mean, it's cheaper than insurance, really.
Sure.
And as we grow in this company and we learn and things like that, we are looking at things like a vacation aspect. So it's like
Interesting.
Kmart. So you get the security for $49.95 a month. But then if let's say you're doing a once in a lifetime vacation, right?
Oh, I see.
For
Yeah.
$50 a month for for $600, we take care of you for 2 weeks and you just relax and enjoy your trip in Italy.
I get it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But we're not there yet.
Interesting.
But and maternity. A lot of ladies would love maternity.
Yeah.
I don't have a price point on that though.
Okay, so that's something for the future
Yeah.
at this point, I guess. All right. So, what advice would you give to a solo bookkeeper regarding training or designating a trusted individual to like manage certain responsibilities? What, like when it's talking about managing the business or so forth, what kind of training do you think they should implement?
First, you got to trust that person.
Right.
Right. So generally, that's the toughest thing in our industry. You're a solopreneur and you bring someone on part-time. They're doing exactly what you built your business on. So you got to trust them. They're not going to take your clients.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, and there's no formula for that. You just have to trust your gut. And if you want to continue to grow, you treat your people the best you can.
Okay. That's
Okay.
good. So basically, it's finding the right person
Mhm.
to meet your needs. Fair enough. I
There's
think that's
nothing
good.
automated about bookkeeping. As much as everybody wants to say it's AI and this and this and this, and that huge bench accounting that went belly up and left 35,000 clients. Did you hear about that? And
To be quite honest, I heard of Bench and I heard a lot about them, but I didn't know that this must have been
belly
very
up
recent.
2 weeks before
Wow.
Christmas,
Wow.
35,000 clients because it's personal. You cannot automate this. The client wants to know, can I go get a truck? Tell me, Christine, right? We get to see everybody. We know everything. We know their kids, who went to college, so it's never going to be AI. It's never going to be automated.
So I am so glad you brought this topic. I know we're a little off topic, but
Right.
the personal aspect of our business
Exactly. Yeah.
is And I think you're right. Professional bookkeepers are bookkeepers more than accountants. Let's be honest,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Interact with their customer base. And I'm assuming when we talk about the solo bookkeeper or the how do you call it, solo entrepreneur,
Solopreneur.
solopreneur,
Solopreneur. Yep.
right? Um, Basically, they deal with a lot of the smaller customers,
Yep.
right? The mom and pops of their
Yes.
customer base, right? And that is a much more touchy feely system.
It
right?
all is. I mean, in all honesty, because like I tell everybody, for my accounting firm, Front Desk Accounting, we don't
Right.
advertise. We only take a client that's referred to us. Well, we're
Right.
like 3 levels deep, right? So I tell everybody, I don't want to lose you as a client until you're on the NASDAQ, right? And they laugh.
Fair enough.
But now I'm 15 years into it. They're selling for $15-20 million, and that I lose them as a client then, right? But I'm proud of that because we grew with them through all of that. You never can take the personal aspect out of a business owner needing you as the right-hand person.
And I think that's probably the hardest part of the contingency plan that you're talking about. And we're going to rephrase this. It's the unplanned. It's not when you plan to stop work. It's when
Correct.
something happens and all of a sudden you can't work.
Correct.
And that's the key element here. Where you're right. If you have 5 or 6 staff or 10 staff, you might have the ability to in-house this
Right.
to a certain extent.
Right.
But one person with 2 staff members,
Yeah.
it's very difficult.
Yeah, we
So-
just got a member the other day. She has a full-time person. She just doesn't want to put that trust in this person if something happened. So that's what you have to figure out. But yes, it's succession security. It's exactly what it sounds like. I really worked on that name.
Right.
It's
right.
not for just retiring or this is to keep everything, your blood, sweat, and tears that you've worked your whole life for and not lose it in a blink of an eye.
Yeah. And honestly, both of us know people that have
Yeah.
solopreneur businesses, and
Yeah.
when they go on vacation, they take it with them, right?
Yep.
You do
Yep.
that. Bookkeepers are that way as well,
Yep.
particularly if they have payroll or
Yep.
or
Sales tax is due
sales
on the
tax,
20th. Yep, exactly. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
So someone's got to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's just not. I agree. My wife's a controller for a firm, and she's only allowed to take vacations on certain parts of the
Mhm.
month.
Yep.
Right, and then parts of the year because they have a year-end thing. So,
Yep.
so you guys, it's a little different. She's only got one company, but you have the same issues. So I get that.
Yeah.
So, what steps should a bookkeeper do to ensure her plan meets legal or regulatory requirements? What does she have to do?
That's the beauty of our
I'm sorry,
bookkeeping world.
What do they have to do? Not she. I apologize.
She
What
or
do they
he.
have
Yeah,
to
exactly. We don't have a male member yet, so I want one, you guys.
do? Fair enough.
And next, I want one in every state.
That'd be good. Yeah, that's it. Yes.
So the legalese for our industry, there's not a lot. Let's just be honest.
Okay.
The only one that I really know is like in Texas, we can't call ourselves accountants.
Okay.
Okay. Because the AICPA had a fit and they passed a law in Texas. We're not allowed to say accountants. Okay. I think there's another state, Ohio or something like that. But we're not licensed. We're not governed by a body, nothing like that. So for all solopreneurs, just make sure your E&O, the cyber insurance now, that type of thing. But as far as licensing and laws, there's not a lot, we don't sign anything.
Right. Okay. So, so you do recommend professional firms, solopreneurs,
you have
to have E&O and cyber insurance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is cyber insurance? Because people understand errors and omissions, right?
Yeah.
But cyber insurance is not. It's probably, it should be mandatory now. But what is cyber insurance? To be quite honest.
You're probably asking the wrong person because I'm not that thrilled with it. I mean, my joke is clients will ask me, how do you keep my stuff safe? Da, 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 da. And I'll tell them straight up. I'll say, you know what? If Target and Equifax can't keep your information safe, how am I going to do any better?
Right.
Right. So I can only do encrypted software. We can
Right.
make sure we have the secure data, secure links to send documents and things like that. And the cyber insurance, it only covers a certain portion, So there is some laws, there's some federal regulations out there,
Right.
but we're already doing it if we're using this certain software.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about security from a perspective of what can we do?
Yeah.
What should we do? Because you're right. I mean, a lot bigger organizations have been hacked and have been taken advantage of, but that doesn't mean that we, as the professional who deals with your personal confidential information, we shouldn't take some measures.
Steps. Yep.
Right. So what steps should a bookkeeper take with regards to their software and their data? I think you mentioned encryption.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to make sure your CRM or where you keep
Right.
all the passwords and all the usernames
Right.
and everything, that's all encrypted.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
And there's so many out there.
Right.
We use Bitwarden for succession security.
Okay.
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 All right. And then there's Encryo that allows secure documents. So like if you look at my tagline, it'll say, if you want to send a statement or something, you can just click it and then send it as an attachment, and it's totally encrypted and secure.
Okay.
Okay.
So what you're doing is telling, as a bookkeeper, you should be very careful in just using standard email for documents, right? Make sure you have
It
a
just
program
depends. It just depends.
It depends.
We have some clients, we just straight up email the financials to them.
Right.
In all honesty, who cares if they see the P&L? If someone wants to step in and look at their P&L, go for it.
Right.
You could have asked us for
Right.
it. But then some are very much send it this way.
Right.
It just depends on the person. That's how every single individual person, we learn how to dance. And at Succession Security, we will learn how to dance with your clients just like you did.
Okay. But you do recommend the more like this, I forgot what the name was called, to send things through encrypted portals would be the best method, unless the customer prefers regular email, and as long as they're aware of the risk, then that's fine too, right? As long as it's customer beware, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's every client's different.
So in your opinion, how does someone be proactive, like in contingency planning, and how to align your contingency plan with your broader goal of, financial empowerment, or making sure it's secure for professionals or the industry in general? What do you think?
What they could do to safeguard themselves?
Yeah, like what proactive methods should they?
I don't think there
take
was one out there till I started Succession Security.
Right.
Right. Let's just be honest. I would be on these Facebook chat boards and things like that. And just the other day, I was reading one, and she said, "Oh, the local bookkeeper passed away. The clients cannot even get in their books.
Wow.
No one knew the passwords." So I don't know that there was any plan in place until I came up with this idea.
So I guess one of the proactive things for solopreneurs, whether they come with you or not, is to make sure they have things available so that if they're not there, someone can open up and take care of the customers.
Take care of their clients, because that's a huge disservice to your clients. So if you become a member of Succession Security, we give you a seal that says a member sense. That's a marketing tool to your clients to let them know you're putting them ahead.
Right.
You're looking out for them, that they're taken care of, and not just floating in the wind if something happened.
Well, that's really interesting. I like that, because you're right. When we talk about the independent professional bookkeeper, they are an island on their own.
Yep.
Right. And honestly, if all of a sudden they become incapacitated or something happens to them, a lot of that password protected information or that encrypted information is not easily available. So as part of your plan to make sure that that's somewhere where someone can get access to. And
Right.
so that makes perfect sense. So I guess as part of your program, what they do is when they become a member, if something happens to them, they can use you guys as an access point at any point in
Right.
time. Is
Well,
that correct?
or we use them. So right now with our members, so let's just say it's Bitwarden, we're a user with them.
Right.
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 So I can log into every member's Bitwarden account.
Right. Okay. I see what
Okay.
you mean.
Right.
Yeah. So you have access as an emergency access. So if something happens, just call Succession Security, and
Yep.
they say who's the customer, blah blah blah, and you can go in
Yep. Yep.
and help out.
And really getting to the emails too. That's really crucial, because like once we start digging into the emails, because let's just say you're in the middle of a big cleanup project, right?
Yeah.
And you have a
Right.
stroke. And we can see in that email, so-and-so is asking. So then that will trigger us. Okay, this is the client. Let's look, it's on QuickBooks. Let's find the client. Where did they leave off? We should be able to jump in and get it done.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting. So tell us.
It really is, isn't it? It really is a great idea.
Well, I like it. I think there's a lot of tools for the larger organizations, and also to the price points are usually are prohibitive,
Right.
for these smaller companies,
Right.
or these smaller organizations to work on. So I do like this. Tell us about your company specifically, how you got started. Where did this come from?
Well, I own front desk accounting. So I've been in business
Right.
since like 2011.
Yep.
So, and before that, I even had some kids, was a full-time mama there so I've got a few decades in there on doing all this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't get tripped up anymore, really, on a QBO question or anything like that. So I don't know. I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Always looking, always thinking, what can we do? And it was in the car, and I just thought of this idea. I think I'd seen where one lady, she lost like all her clients because she had a heart attack. And it
Right.
was like, and I thought, geez, as moms, as women, because it's generally a woman industry dominated, industry. This is what we use to support our families sometimes is
Right.
this income. And so then I was like, boy, there's got to be some, and that's why I was like, I bet if there was insurance. And then I started to thinking.
Right. Instead of insurance, membership program, a
Right.
community-based system,
Yep.
where everybody comes in and they get access to it. That's great.
Right. But I pull
and
everybody together like insurance. So the risk, if 1,000 members, 2 will need us,
Yeah.
risk reward type thing. So, yeah. So anyway, so I was like, I don't want nothing to do with insurance. I had to keep thinking.
No, I get it. I like the membership community-based system.
Yep.
I think that's good. Is there, when they work with you, do you have like a newsletter? Do you have tools? What do you have as part of your
Not
program?
right now. No,
No.
I'd like to do that. I'd like to have something set up on the web. I have my ideas, but we are so new,
Right.
baby steps on where we're
Okay.
going.
But right now you have the ability for if people sign up and something happens to them, you basically can cover their practice for about 3 months.
Oh, yeah.
Or more,
Yeah.
or longer.
Our
if they
biggest
need-
thing
if
is
they need.
what we call the emergency point of contact.
Right.
We've made sure they know to contact us, because if you're in a coma, right?
Right.
You got to, that emergency point has to remember to contact us. So we've come up with like a cute little jingle, like think if they're in the hospital, look at their website and see our seal.
Oh, I see. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
So
Good.
I think 10 years from now, we'll have a much better idea. But we're making it up as we go.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's great.
and if
great.
it's a husband, let's be honest, or a spouse, or a significant other, they're not going to necessarily think they're going to be focused on you getting better.
Right.
But, so that's our biggest thing, the emergency point of contact person.
Well, good. Okay. And if our listeners are out there and they want to know more about you and about security succession, how do they find out?
They can go to successionsecurity.com.
Right.
Okay. We do have a Facebook page. So I have this wonderful social media lady. She's been doing wonderful things on there. We're
Fantastic.
not really advertising on that or anything yet. We're just trying to get out there.
Right.
I'm learning a lot about all this social media stuff. Um, or they could simply, if they'd like, just please email me on the website. There's a Calendly link they could do.
Yeah.
They could just sign up right on there, right on the
Perfect.
website. And then I contact you to do the onboarding.
Okay.
Okay.
And is the onboarding, is it a long process?
No,
Is
it takes like a half an hour.
Oh, okay. And you're ready to go.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, Christine, thank you for being on the show.
Well, thank you. This is awesome.
Yeah, I really like what we talked about. It's something that you're absolutely right. It's the market that you're looking at.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a lot of options, and having this short-term availability for something unknown happens is great.
Yeah.
So thank you very much.
Thank you, and you have an awesome day.
Thanks. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Successful Bookkeepers podcast. To learn more about today's guest and to get access to all sorts of valuable free business building resources, you can go to thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Until next time, goodbye.
You've been listening to the Spotlight edition of The Successful Bookkeeper with Louis Prosperi. For more information and to access the resources mentioned in this episode, please visit us at thesuccessfulbookkeeper.com. Thank you for listening and have a great week.